Hello, this is Dr. Yang. There's a story about 7 celebrities who have gotten Botox. Let's see. There's Cindy Crawford. There's Kim Kardashian, John Mayer, Jenny McCarthy, Lori Loughlin. Again, I don't know if they actually had it. There's just a news story, okay? But I Googled it and I saw a statistic that says 11 million people worldwide gets Botox. I don't know if that's high or low. Here's another. It's not from actual Allergan website. Allergan is one of the maker of Botox, and they're said they sold 3.2 billion US dollar worth of our Botox worldwide. And in 2024, they're projecting 4.6 billion dollars of Botox worldwide. Again, this is one of the three main brands of Botox. Um, what is Botox? Botox is let's see. Let me show you the bottle here. This is three brand. Okay, one is Botox. This is just Botox is actually the toxin. Okay, the medication that you inject to improve wrinkles. This is one of the brand, and then Dysport is another brand. Xeomin is another brand. Botox is a neurotoxin. Okay, it's a neurotoxin that's made by bacterial Clostridium botulism, and what that does is when you inject it, it goes to neural muscular junction, which is the connection between the nerve and the muscle, and it'll block the signal. So basically, when the nerve fires to move a muscle, it'll prevent the muscle from contracting, from shortening, and it leads to the result is some paralysis and mainly weakness of the muscle. So why would people want to inject Botox into the facial muscles to weaken it? Well, let's see. When you move again, this is your face with the older person with wrinkles across their face, and underlying all these wrinkles is muscles, okay? And these is called muscle of facial expression. It's moved by cranial nerve 7. It's a nerve that's attached to the base of your brain. And those nerves, there's 12 of them, and this nerve, the number 7 is the facial nerve, and it comes out of the skull and move your facial muscles. So the muscle lines are like this, okay? It goes vertical for this muscle called frontalis. The muscle for the eye is a circular strand muscle, and that allows you to close your eye. And as you can see, all these skin folds and skin wrinkles are perpendicular to these underlying muscles. Okay, so here you'll get skin fold this way because the muscle fibers are this way. And what these muscles do is lift the corner of your mouth when you smile, etc. The muscle in your forehead called frontalis, when they contract, shorten, it pulls the top down a little bit, but it mainly lifts the more movable part, the lower part, your eyebrow and the upper eye area. It pulls the skin upward, okay, and lift your eyebrow. And so when you do that, you get facial expressions, but over time you get a lot of wrinkles. And Botox basically relaxes these muscles so you can't contract them, and you won't have as many wrinkles when you're moving your facial muscle of your face. Okay, when you're raising your brow, you'll see less wrinkles. Now, there's a preventative reason. Some people do this when they're in their 20s or 30s, and when they do that, they prevent the muscle from, they relax the muscle, prevent the wrinkles when you're raising your eyebrow and moving your muscle. But they also prevent deepening of your resting wrinkles when you're a little older. So if you do some Botox in your 20s, sometimes you don't have any resting wrinkles, but then when you're in your 40s, you still don't have too many resting wrinkles. So there's a therapeutic way of using Botox, but long term, some people will get a preventative of resting wrinkles. So now as I said, there are 3 type of Botox here in the state. One is botulism, brand name Botox. The other one is Dysport. The other one is Xeomin. Now, I believe Botox came out in 2002 for cosmetic purposes, for facial lines. And then Dysport came out in 2009. Xeomin came out in 2011. All these three medication is more common in the States. Again, worldwide they may have other brands. And I don't know, I'm sure they're safe, I would imagine, but the more common things that we could get here in the States are these three brands. The onset is that Dysport is usually act the fastest. It starts in 1 or 2 days. Botox about 2 to 3 days for it to relax the muscle, and then Xeomin is a little longer. But duration-wise, they all supposedly last 3 to 6 months. Clinically, maybe 3 to 4 months. That you have to re-inject because the effect of relaxing the muscle wears away. Now, let's see other face. Where do you inject Botox, or where's more commonly Botox? Again, it's the forehead. The effect of Botox may be a centimeter and a half, depending on how much you inject and depending on how much muscle. Some people's muscle is a lot thicker, but generally it's 1 to 1.5 centimeter round. And so here for your forehead, you may inject usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe one in the middle, depending on if the forehead muscle splits in two. And if it's and that's usually, I guess 12 to 14 units, but that's for a very minor wrinkle. As you can see, some people, if they have a lot of wrinkle, they may require 2 lines. You can always start with 1. Let's see, for example, you're gonna need probably 2 lines, but you could start with 1 and then come back in 2 weeks, and then your doctor can reassess it. If you want to make it, a more obvious, more relaxed, then you could, get another line injected. And typically they avoid the side of your forehead in that, because if you relax these muscles, the brow and the tissue around here can droop, and then you could look a little old. Now, that's for a new patient, but if the patient, so they usually don't want to inject Botox on the side. However, some patient will come back and, they don't really like the side of the brow being higher. They think it's a surprise look. And if that's the case, your doctor can always add another unit or 2 of Botox to the side, and that'll relax the eyebrow. The other area they inject can be in this area, okay? There's what's called a procerus muscle, and what that does, when it contracts, it forms a line, again, perpendicular to that muscle, horizontal line like this. And then there's the corrugator muscle, and there's 2 of them, okay? And when they contract, they shorten and they pull toward the middle, and they tend to form a vertical line here and 2 muscle bulges on the side. And so this is what gives you the frown, the mean look. So sometimes you can inject Botox in this area. And again, this is showing the corrugator. You can inject 2 to 3 dots on either side. Again, each of these dots usually 2 units of Botox. And then for the procerus, usually it's, depending on how thick the bulge is, you can inject 1 dot here, 1 or 2 dot here, and then again, maybe a dot on the bottom as well. Again, it all depends on how thick it is, but generally this region may be 14 units as well of Botox. And again, 2 weeks later, you can always come back, and the patient wants more, they could always add more. On the side, this is when you smile, and you may form wrinkle line on the side. It's called a crow's feet. Okay, and again, these wrinkle lines are sort of like this. Again, they're perpendicular to the circular muscle that goes around your eye. And so by injecting Botox in this area, you could relax the wrinkles around the eye. And these are the more common areas of Botox injection. It just simply relaxes your wrinkles in your forehead, around between your eyes, on the side of your eyes. And it does that. It lasts about, again, 3 to 4 months, or some people it may last a little longer. But other area of muscle relaxation with Botox you could get is if the face look really wide. Okay, sometimes because they have a very muscular jaw muscle. This is called the masseter muscle. Let's see. So if you have teeth grinding issues, or if you just simply have a very strong bite force, especially some patients that have a flatter jaw, and those patients with flatter jaw, they tend to have square jaw because their muscle tend to be very strong and very bulky. And so this is called the masseter. There's one on either side, and you can inject this muscle toward the bottom of it. And because the bulk, although it's flared up, the bulk of the muscle is on the bottom, okay? And there's some motor nerve up here, so if you inject up here, you may weaken some of the muscles up here, and your smile will look funny. So typically, you tend to inject the Botox on the bottom, okay? And it could be up to 25-30 units per side because it's a pretty bulky muscle. And once you relax the over several treatments, each lasting about 3 to 5 months. After several treatments, the muscle will actually become a little smaller and the face will look a little more rounder. And if a bulky muscle is causing headache and teeth grinding, wear issues, it could help with that as well. Because through Botox, series of Botox injection, you sort of relax and weaken and make these muscles a little smaller. The other thing you can do is there's muscle down here by your upper neck area, and these muscles tend to, when they contract, it pulls the lower face down. And so when you relax the muscles in this area, sometimes you'll sometimes you could get a lower face lifting effect because the muscle up here are active and it could pull up on the lower face. So again, you could also relax the muscle down here. The other area is sometimes people have a gummy smile where when they smile, the muscle up here is really active and they pull up and you see a lot of gum. Sometimes you can inject a few units of Botox in this area and it could relax that muscle and your lip will be more relaxed and your smile won't be as gummy. Anyway, there's other ways of using Botox. But these are just some of the ways. I don't know these celebrities. I don't know if they got Botox or not. I don't know how many units they got, where they got it. But this is just it's a news that I could sort of, give me a chance to talk about Botox. There's mainly 3 types of them. And anytime you inject needle in the face, there's risk of bleeding, there's risk of bruising, and there's also a small potential for allergy reaction to Botox. It could be a minor reaction or it could be a more severe reaction, allergy reaction. Now, let's see. I think I wanted to talk about, other than cosmetic use of Botox, some other doctors and other specialists do use Botox to relax muscles in other part of your body. For example, here in Mayo Clinic, they mentioned cervical dystonia. It's a painful condition where your neck muscle contract involuntarily and cause your head to twist and turn into an uncomfortable position. So sometimes some doctor will use Botox for, one of the 3 types of Botox for cervical dystonia. Lazy eye, usually I would imagine an ophthalmologist would be doing this, where there's an imbalance of muscle that responsible position of your eye, and you could use Botox for that. Muscle contractures, some neurological conditions, cerebral palsy, can cause your limbs to pull in toward your center. So sometimes they could use this to relax those muscles. Hyperhidrosis, which is excessive sweating. So under our armpit, sometimes you can inject Botox and it'll reduce the amount of sweating. Again, Botox lasts anywhere from 3 to 4 months to be safe. It may last longer, but generally you could say it lasts 3 to 4 months. Chronic migraines, especially if it's associated with muscle tightness around the head and neck area, sometimes you can inject Botox to relax those muscles, and that will help with migraines. There's also other use of bladder dysfunction, overactive bladder, eye twitching, etc. Again, there's other use of medical use of Botox. There's also this thing with FDA approved or not. So for example, FDA will be very safe and they'll approve a medication for a limited amount of use. And usually that's what the company will say officially, you can only use it for certain use. But and that's called on-label use. Now in reality, not just in the U.S. but in worldwide, doctors under their license, with the idea of helping their patient, they sometimes use it for off-label, what's called off-label use. And again, they're as long as they care about the patient, they're practicing under their license, they can do that. Again, it's with informed consent, where you talk to the patient and they want you to use Botox or other medication, other procedure for a certain way. And as long as it's safe, they could still do an off-label use. So some of these are on-label, according to FDA. Some are off-label. But again, as long as you try, they're trying to do it safely and there's consent, then you can use it for off-label use. Again, this is just another picture of not just one line Botox, but you're getting 2 lines. So again, 2 units per dot. So that could be 20 some units for this forehead. And also the frown area, and then the lateral eye area, what we call crow's feet. Anyway, this is Dr. Yang talking about this story about people getting Botox. So if you enjoy my channel and would like to support me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, and please feel free to share with your friend. Again, I'm just a one-man person. I have a full-time job. I have wife and kids, and anybody who knows that, you have wife and kids, it's like another job, and I have to keep up with the channel. So I'm trying to make it as natural, as non-edited, like I don't have to edit it, preferably, and that just allow me to keep this up realistically. So again, I apologize if it's not as polished and not as well edited, and I hope you had learned something from it. Again, thank you so much.